Welcome back, ladies and gents. I hope you enjoyed our last video. So anyway, now we come to the Trunks Saga. Now everything during the 1-year gap would remain constant until Mecha Frieza and King Cold show up on Earth. Now for those of you who don't know, there are actually 4 timelines that exist, and they branch out from the Common Era at this point in time. We'll first look at Timeline 1, which is known amongst DBZ fans like you and I, as Cell's timeline, because Cell originated from this particular timeline. Yeah, if you want to understand how all this works, just go watch the timeline theory on Quaman's channel. Frieza and King Cold touch down on Earth in the desert, and that's where the Z-Fighters intercept the henchmen before they begin their attack on the planet. The Z-Fighters consist of Gohan, Krillin, Piccolo, Tien, Yamcha, Chaozu, and Zarbon. Gohan, Krillin, Yamcha, and Chaozu would kill all the henchmen themselves without any backup. Now this is where the fight with Mecha Frieza begins, and Goku hasn't arrived yet. This means Piccolo, Tien, and Zarbon need to team up to defeat him. I honestly don't think it would be enough even if Tien got stronger, Zarbon transformed, or Piccolo fusing with Nail. So all 3 of which would get creamed against Frieza. And there's no doubt he would aim his rage towards Zarbon the most for betraying him back on Namek. Now it's at this point Goku uses his instant transmission and saves Zarbon and the others from certain doom, and then turns Super Saiyan. Goku would then kill Mecha Frieza after a somewhat hard fight, but not as hard as the Namek battle. So how did he do it? The same way he did on Namek. And then he goes on to fight King Cold. It's possible King Cold could be too much for Goku by himself and would need help from his friends, but let's assume he fought him alone and won. King Cold no doubt then begs Goku for mercy, but Goku doesn't buy it and he kills King Cold as well in the same fashion as future Trunks. Next up in the timeline is Goku dying from the heart cancer, for whatever reason, and Goten is never born. The saga ends here. First up is the android assault 6 months later, which means we now enter the android saga. The Z-Fighters would be notified of the attack and would confront the androids. Now, who fought them first is up to debate depending on the source you use, since Piccolo fought them first in the History of Trunks TV special, while Zarbon would have fought them first in the episode Ghost from Tomorrow. Not the Waterfall Saga episode, if you know what I mean. So, regardless of source, they both fought and died in their respective battles. The remaining Z-Fighters besides Gohan are all killed as well in whatever order, and Gohan goes into hiding for the next 13 years. Now he decides to train future Trunks like he originally did, and then the 2 of them go fight the androids, but they lose. Future Gohan gives up his life to save future Trunks, no duh, who then waits another 3 years before fighting the androids himself and loses again, but somehow survived, even though that didn't make any sense. He then time travels back to age 764, which was the year Goku fought and kills Frieza in King Cold on Earth, that we just went over a couple minutes ago. Now this is where we enter the second timeline, known as the Unseen Timeline. Alright, now welcome to the Unseen Timeline, which is the second timeline within the Dragon Ball Z series. So Frieza and King Cold still show up, but this time the henchmen are cut down by future Trunks rather than Goku and his friends. The battle between him and Frieza remains mostly the same as it did in the series, and things don't change with the standoff against King Cold either. They then wait for Goku to show up, and he then explains to Goku the whole backstory, including the part where Zarbon is his father. Yes, Zarbon replaces Vegeta for the rest of the series, remember? And gives Goku the heart cancer medicine. We then cut to the android assault again 3 years later, but this time it's being carried out by androids 19 and 20 rather than 17 and 18. Yamcha nearly dies, and then Goku fights 19 until the cancer kicks in, and then Zarbon shows up and saves him. Somehow. Yamcha then takes Goku back to Chi-Chi for the medicine. Goku remains in a coma for 10 days but will survive. Piccolo then challenges 20 to a fight and manages to subdue him until Future Trunks arrives. 20 escapes during the confusion and activates 17 and 18 but is killed by them once the Z-Fighters break into the lab. The fight begins and the Z-Fighters lose but survive. Because there's no future Cell in this timeline, Piccolo doesn't fuse with Kami nor fight Cell. Krillin never gets the idea to return to the lab to get the blueprints and destroy the bunker, and so this timeline Cell is spared from the explosion which didn't happen here. Because remember, Krillin only thought of the idea to destroy the lab because of Future Cell's presence. So, anyway, Kami and Mr. Popo would then reveal the hyperbolic time chamber to the Z-Warriors, and then Zarbon and Future Trunks decide to go in first. One day passes and then they exit to go fight androids 16, 17, and 18, while Piccolo enters the chamber next. The androids are discovered, and Zarbon would make the first challenge and he challenges 18 while Future Trunks takes on 17. Thanks for watching this video. That's if you actually made it to this point. Please subscribe and check out my other videos here. As always, tune in next time and for more. This is Definitely Ramada, signing out.